Hey Lambic lovers, and welcome to the second in our Lambic exploration / hard sell for crowdfunding.
Oh!
We are here at the Hackney Wick Warehouse, which is where Cave Direct Beer Merchants, which is my job, are founding our own tap room, bottle shop and blendery, in which we'll be making lots of exciting, spontaneous, barrel-aged beers. Bradders, does that make you excited?
You're just showing off with all the stuff you're doing in this amazing space.
Help us crowdfund our blendery, tap room and bar.
What do we get if we crowdfund, Johnny?
You double your money in the bar, Brad.
What?
For every £1 you invest, you get a £2 bar tab.
That's the terrible idea for you guys. Basically, you get a free round if you come here.
Yeah, a free round or two.
What's the minimum investment?
It's £50, the minimum investment. Okay. Right, so today is all about krieks. So kriek is a cherry lambic. Kriek is Flemish for cherry. And we have four, we think they're the best, but one of them we've never tried before, so we're quite excited about that. If you don't know how lambic is made, we've got a video also at the end all about that. So we're starting with Girardin. So these guys, I've been to the brewery twice, but I've never been allowed in. But I did manage to get this bottle.
Under the cover of night.
Exactly. Not from the brewery, I didn't break in and steal one, I did buy it.
Yeah, whatever.
So Girardin, they're a brewery rather than a blendery. So some just blend beers, some brew the beers and blend it.
This is quite tense, Johnny.
I'm just spinning it out for you.
I hope it doesn't go everywhere.
You ready for the great sound?
Oh,
there we go.
There we go.
That's sort of in between so BSL, Cantillon, they make very fruity krieks, and then Hansen's make really acetic, really pungent, slightly less cherry beer, and this is somewhere in between.
The fruitiness.
Yeah,
for sure.
There's that rich cherry, but there's also a really light character to it. Maybe lots of lacto, lots of lemoniness.
Right.
Surprisingly sweet.
It is quite sweet, isn't it?
Lots of that marzipan, almondy kind of flavour as well.
Really almondy.
Yeah. I don't know, I mean, that must be a chemical thing, but it's also, I think, a perceived sweetness. When we have cherry, we expect a kind of Bakewell asset to it as well.
Yeah, it's like rolling around in my mouth in a very marzipan-y way.
And where the other ones really build, this one just slips away nicely. It's very, very smooth.
Quite smooth, very subtle, a bit creamy almost in how it's sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got a creamy finish to it. So now we're moving on to my favourite kriek in the world, but I feel like it might change over the course of today. So BSL, they're a blendery, they don't brew their own beer, they get it from Boone, but from Boone they get a slightly hoppier version of the Boone classic spontaneous wort. So BSL, quite a new brewery, they were a spontaneous brewery and it closed, I think, in about 2002, and then a couple of years later, Geert came, bought it and started it again because he thought it was such a shame.
What a Geert thing to do.
Is that pun on great? That nearly worked. That was excellent. Whoa, look at that colour.
That is rich.
Compared, like the Girardin was quite pink, whereas this is blood red.
That's cheeky Vimto right there. Look at that. Come on.
That's one of my favourite aromas in beer.
Quite gentle.
You reckon? To me, it's like those fizzy strawberry laces.
Yeah, it's strawberry, isn't it? Why is it strawberry?
I think it's that sweet red fruit with a little bit of
It's not as sharp, is it? It doesn't smell as sharp as the others.
Not sharp as a Gur, certainly.
No.
It's more sharp than I think the Hansen, the Girardin was. The Lambic's getting to me.
Nothing wrong with that.
I love that. It's a strange one because it's so dry on the palate, but just in your head it's just exploding with cherry, tiny bit of marzipan, nowhere near as much as the first one, but just that really heady, like biting into a proper, lovely, fresh cherry. It's just taken on the character of the fruit completely. So I'd never really aged this beer because that cherry note is just it's sensational.
You don't want to lose it.
No.
It's almost like those Haribo cherry things that are like...
Yeah, almost.
So cherry.
Almost as good as Haribo. There you go.
Almost as good as Haribo.
So now we're moving on to a brewery, or rather a blendery, that doesn't get around very often because it's an absolutely tiny, tiny concern. The guys that own it actually have other day jobs. And with these ones, they don't even have the patience to let it carbonate in the bottle. Right. So they don't put any young lambic in. It's all the older lambic, which means it doesn't have the sugar to re-ferment in the bottle and go fizzy. So I don't expect to pop when I pop this
all of the stuff they make is older lambics, or?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the Gurs will have a little bit because the Gurs is fizzy. Right. There you go, just a
tiny little. It's a very,
a French noise of disgust.
Yeah.
Now, if that sounds slightly disappointing, the benefit is that because they're so small, they are the only guys that are able to use purely Beak cherries, which is the traditional cherry for this style.
Okay. Oh, it's a totally different thing.
Acetic.
Very.
Lots of vinegar going on in that smell.
Yeah.
Very different to the other ones. So there's a little bit of sort of nail polishy vinegariness to it.
A bit nail polishy. It's still a bit fruity to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Still got that going on.
It's really, really rich, and because it's not carbonated, I'm pretty sure it's going to stick around on the tongue for a bit longer.
It's not like crazy.
I'm getting a little burn on this one.
Little burn.
Yeah,
Maybe
and I've built up some tolerance.
Maybe we've just been drinking for quite a long time.
You're just numb to it now.
I really like this.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
It's really great, and it's really, really jammy.
Super jam.
Yeah, it is kind of that tart, sticky jam. You want to spread it on toast.
No, it's working round to the back now. I'm getting the funk.
Yeah, I get a kind of parmesan acidity, like a little bit of funkiness, a little bit of umami-ness. It's just, it hits all the parts of your tongue.
Yeah, my chops.
Yeah, and your
Back
chops. Yeah,
Good
and then it hits you
dolphin
here,
noise.
and it hits you here. It's one of those beers that's just all-encompassing. And anyone that drinks it, like Hanson's are probably the least approachable of the Lambics, and anyone that drinks it just stops in their tracks. Whether they like it or not, they're just a bit like, whoa.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
But amazing. All right, I'm loving that one, Johnny.
Yep.
So what have you got next, sir?
Well, now we've got a whale
A whale!
swimming in from Belgium across the Atlantic. Cantillon.
Straight up the
So-
Thames.
Straight up the Thames, and to us here in Hackney, we're down the canal,
Down
through
the
some
canal.
locks.
It's a small whale then.
This is one of their core beers, so they make it quite frequently. You need a corkscrew. Don't make that mistake, 'cause I've done it so many times where you turn up going, hey, I've got some Cantillon for everyone, and then you can't open it.
Oh, you just got to have your sword, haven't you, really? That's
Or
what
yeah,
you're
or have your
saying.
Lambic sword, yeah. So Cantillon, they're a tiny, tiny brewery, even though they have this huge name, and everyone's always like, why can't we get more Cantillon in this country or this country? It's like, there's only 2,000 hects of it, which is just nothing.
No, I can
Nothing.
drink that.
Over what period?
10 years?
That sounds like a video, a really long video.
Just
Yeah.
Cantillon man.
A man that comes to rescue and then just has to have a Rennie and sit down.
That's it.
So, Cantillon Creek. So it's got it's not as rich as the.
Rosier colour, isn't
Yes.
it? It's not as blood red.
It's a bit tomato juicy colour.
Yeah.
So
Again, it smells totally different, isn't it?
this one is very skinny. It's like cherry skin. I get more kind of that slightly more savoury, less fleshy kind of cherry note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not talking skin from Skunk Anansi then?
No. I think that's probably the best balanced of all of them.
It feels more refined to me.
Yeah.
It feels like I don't know. It has some gravitas to it somehow.
Ooh.
Through it's very, very smooth.
Yeah.
I can taste a lot of things going on.
Like Lambic, you
it's
think it's
more
going to be
subtle
quite,
though, isn't it?
yeah, you think it's going to be quite spiky with
Yeah.
the
It's
lactobacillus
like
and the
softer
Brett and
edges.
the cherry, but yeah, it's very rounded.
This has been in a
soft and
wind
mellow.
tunnel.
They've rounded off the edges.
They've flown jets of air at it
Yeah.
very scientifically in
Yeah.
a wind tunnel, and it's produced something quite refined.
Just for clarification, they don't have wind tunnels at Cantillon.
It's the next step,
It's
surely.
basically a
Come on.
museum. Well, we'll speak to Jean. So yeah, really rounded, really mellow, soft cherry vibes, soft Bretty vibes, a little bit of lemon acidity. It's all very smooth. If you had to
Yeah.
draw a picture of Cantillon
It's soft
Creek,
and
it would be a
cuddly.
circle, whereas
I
if you
wanna-
drew it with Hanson's, it would be a star.
I want to give this one a hug.
Yeah?
Yeah, a hug.
You gonna? There we go. So, Brothers, which is your favourite?
Hanson.
Hanson's. Hanson the band are great, but also that beer.
Well, I wanted to do an umbop when you opened it, but then I thought
Oh, that would have been so clever.
that's like
If I had a chocolate cake, I'd break out my Hanson's. But if I was just sat down with a Creek, I'd still pick the beer cell. There's so many variables, you can end up with 4 completely different beers that are all in the same style, which isn't true of every beer style.
right.
It's true of many, but Lambics, you shouldn't lump them all in together. People talk about how if you brew a Lambic in a different place, it will taste different. Screw that. It will taste different even if you're next door to each other,
This guy.
which is very interesting. Brothers,
Hell yeah, I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
Cheers buddy.